There you, there you go. Welcome to the Fire of Connect. Okay, so Jessica, you want to start the Q&A?
Yes, my favorite part. This question is for Kenneth.
Okay.
What was your favorite subject in elementary school and why?
Oh, geez, you went all the way back there. California politics.
In elementary school?
Well, I was in the GATE program, and that was in summer school. That you asked me what my favorite was, but I'll tell you that probably let's go with history. History of California, the missions, California missions.
Okay.
You know that was required, right?
Huh.
Back in the day, that was required. Everybody had to take California missions.
I didn't go to, I didn't come to California till after high school and a little bit of college.
Yeah, I mean, you already tipped your hand when you said California missions. What? Oh yeah, it's huge. And you had to build a mission, or take a picture of a mission, or go visit a mission and turn it into your teacher. And then there was a statewide competition.
I can't believe, I lived in San Diego for like almost 10 years and no, I've never heard of that.
Okay, well that was.
Tell me about their project.
Well, you obviously didn't hang with too many elementary school kids, huh?
No.
Or their parents.
Yeah. Wow, that's so do you still have your project, or do you keep your school projects, or do you throw them out?
That was 57 years ago.
Some people keep it. My dad kept all kinds of stuff.
I am a rat packer, but I did not keep that. I kept the memory.
All right, Ken. Who do you want to ask next?
Okay, well then I got to ask Eddie. Fast Eddie.
All right.
Fast Eddie.
I'm still trying to fix my Zoom.
Don't worry about it. We know what you look like. You're cool.
Okay.
What was your favorite sport in high school?
In high school, well, it's a mix between surfing and football, to be honest with you. It was really football, but then in like ninth grade, I got number 2 in the East Coast Surfing Championship. So I missed all the varsity training, so they didn't let me join. So it's really surfing. And I really love surfing because it's you against the water. And funny story.
Were you in North Carolina?
What's that?
Were you in North Carolina? You said on the East Coast.
I was born in Washington, D.C. So we used to go to Dewey Beach in Ocean City, Maryland, and have to drive 2 hours. So I came to California because I thought it'd be close to the beach. And here I am in San Jose, 2 hours away, farther away. So,
yeah, it's cold.
Go figure. That's good.
Yeah,
So
you need you got to go to Half Moon Bay to surf there.
Well, I vacation in Hawaii because I love that. I probably, if I go back there, I'll probably stay because it's so beautiful and surf all day.
All right.
Okay, Eddie, you have a question for me?
Let me see. So what's your biggest accomplishment this week and why? How about that?
It's proofing the magazine. So that's probably going to come out in 2 days here. And we were able to do the event with Kimiator, and you were there. You saw me speak. And what else did I do? I think that's and then plus the radio show. We have a lot of things going on with the radio show, a lot of accomplishments. So there's a lot of things going on with that.
It's going crazy.
All right.
Okay, now I have a question for Jessica. Okay, Jessica, I would like to know what is your main focus right now for your business? Your number one main focus.
My main focus is kind of after I finish nailing down some of my packages, I've had to adjust them with seeing that I need more parameters, is reaching my first 10K month and like having that be a baseline consistency for me. And related to it is I've been considering getting my real estate license, but not sure yet like where I want to go with it. And using that to create some opportunities around me where I am.
Okay, so but your number one focus is to set up that 10 a month.
Mhm.
Okay, all right, sounds good. That's good to know. Okay, if I have to drill down on that, you're gonna have to provide some data behind the 10K.
I'm like, it's so possible. Like I just came from this weekend event about events and like watching people do the math with what they've done with challenges and their own events. I'm just like, it's totally possible. I just need to.
Yeah, you have to show where that 10K is coming from per month. And is it really, what's the timeline of getting that 10K a month?
Well, based on my current pricing, it could look like just like 5 or 6 clients and serving them really, really well. And hopefully that would turn into then needing to bring on an assistant because I'm not going to be able to do all the parts and pieces. But for now, it looks like some case studies and as it getting more visible with like invitations to go on podcasts because people don't know who I am yet. So I guess that's actually more of a priority for me because I'm starting to be more visible in that way, including the magazine.
Okay.
So from there, it's just a matter of like getting consistent with that. And I see it happening pretty fast. I think 5 or 6 clients, I might exceed it.
All right, sounds good. That's good. That's very doable. Okay, so let's move on to Ken doing a presentation on media, how to tell a story.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Let's do that. Speaker view.
Okay, I'm glad I have you two, because the two of you are the biggest. You're the biggest challenge that I have to convince you that you need to go on the media /radio/social media. So I'm just going to give you an overview. The first thing is when Jessica says that she's a secret agent, I think for a lot of it, Eddie, you are also a secret agent. Nobody has any idea who you are. So think about this for a second. What if Marie invited you on her show called The Fabulous Lifestyles Radio, okay, and she interviewed you? Is that a potential area that you could use to then shoot over to more podcasts and use it as a calling card? That's a question.
Well, if you want me to answer, the answer to all that question is yes, because you use the word called possible. So sure.
Okay. Well, you know Marie.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, Marie is a networker, and Marie will do that. And so this is what I see. We all try to do stuff that we don't really understand to market our businesses. And at the same time, in our backyard, we have somebody who has all of that already put together and can help us as a mentor. But we're afraid to ask them. And because we're afraid to ask them, or not necessarily that we're afraid to ask them, we just don't think of them. So let me just give you a couple ideas. The average successful person on Instagram posts 2 to 3 times a day. The most successful person on LinkedIn posts an average of 5 times a day. The Facebook 2 times a day. Twitter 2 to 3 times a day. Okay? So that's a big number. But this is how you beat the number. Let's say you're a guest and you're interviewed. Who is the most trusted person in media? The radio host or the TV host. Well, TV not as much as it used to be, but the host, right? If a host asks you onto a show, you are automatically an expert, correct?
Yep.
Because why would they ask you if you weren't an expert? You're not going to have somebody come on that's not an expert on the topic that they want to talk about. So when you get invited, the audience is already determined you're an expert. So to, go through all of this rigmarole about you have this, you went to there, that's all wasted time. Because as soon as you show up on that radio show, they already count you as an expert because they're already fans of Marie's and Kim's. And as a consequence, you own their audience. So think about my little radio station. It has only 83,000 viewers or listeners. Okay? Think how big that is. Close your eyes and pretend you're at the Michigan State or, the University of Michigan football field. That's 83,000 people. How many cold calls would you have to make to talk to 83,000 people?
83,000.
Your entire lifetime. Now, what if only 2 people out of all 83,000 listeners thought you were worthwhile contacting? Would you make a decent amount of money on that interview? The answer is yes, by the way.
Yes.
Okay. This is a feedback. You can feedback because there's only the 3 of us. Nobody's going to know this except that Marie is recording this, that you're getting all this special attention. So the idea is get yourself on a radio show. It doesn't have to be Marie's. It's just that Marie's the easiest one to get on. If you call a local radio station around here and say, hey, I'd like to be interviewed on XYZ, they're going to say, oh, okay. And we'll take your name and we'll put you on our guest list. With Marie, you can actually leverage her to help you, or me even. That's what I'm trying to get across. So here you are. You're on this radio show. You do a 11-minute radio interview. Marie is asking you the questions. It may not be Marie. It might be somebody else. Doesn't really matter. And guess what? You're going to take that information and you're going to put it on Pinterest, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, KCAA Radio Archives, Tiki Live, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Spotify, Snapchat, and Reddit. And how are you going to do that? With a simple punch of a button, because it's all going to come off of YouTube, and you're going to be on YouTube. Okay? So you've gone to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 platforms with one interview for 10 or 15 minutes by simply going to the share button on YouTube, and then they'll show you all the different platforms, and then you just go to each one and post it. Okay? It doesn't take that much to do that. So now you're in the game. Otherwise, you've got to get on your cell phone or you got to film yourself, and that's going to take hours and hours and hours. That's not worth the time and energy to actually do all of that unless you just want to be a YouTube star. So, or you've got a large organization that's going to do a lot of that stuff for you. But right now, you guys don't. Now, I've talked about the platform. I've talked about the fact that you're an expert. Now, the question is, what problem are you solving for the audience? The audience could care less if you went to Harvard and had 14 degrees, okay? They could care less that you invented a new brain apparatus. What they're concerned about is what their issue is. And I think, Eddie, one of the biggest issues that you have is you don't clarify exactly what the problem is that you can solve for a particular client. Does that make sense? And Jessica, you're like a networker, okay? But you don't really explain how you put A to B and then get a result of C. That's why it's critical, I think, that you would be an excellent real estate agent, because you're a matching of people. And you can still do the same business that you're doing, but as a real estate agent, you're doing it on a more localized level, and you're in New York, right? What part of New York? You're not in Manhattan.
No, I'm in upstate, closer to,
Everybody's embarrassed about saying they're from upstate. I remember a good friend of mine ended up marrying a girl from England who, and she married him because he lived in New York. She thought New York City. They drove right through New York, all the way out there, almost to the Canadian border. And she goes, "Where is New York City?" He says, "Oh, we're not going to New York City. We're going to the capital of New York." And she goes, "Oh, well, I thought it was something else." So the point that I'm trying to make is the average home out there is what, between $200,000 and $300,000, and there's a huge need for a realtor that understands corporations from California and different places, because a lot of them are relocating into those areas. Okay, why are they relocating to those areas? Because it's cheaper, right, to live there, and they can build huge factories like Amazon. I mean, Amazon got kicked out of New York City, right? Well, they got to go someplace. And so that gives you an idea. So you have to solve a problem for the audience, not your problem, their problem. Okay? And the best way to find that out is to talk to people that you know and ask them, hey, what are the major problems? Well, the major problems are inflation, housing prices, homelessness, all these things. So if you can in some way incorporate that into your offering, then you're going to be much more successful. Now, Eddie, you're in a very complex industry that has specific types of people. And so I'm thinking you're trying to connect, right? You're trying to connect people, realtors and that kind of thing, right? In neighborhoods?
Maybe, maybe not. That's one option.
Well, but see, the point is that for your show, you can't say, well, I could do this or I could do that. You just got to pick whatever your audience is that you want, and then drill down from there. Okay, because you can serve multiple audiences, but in an interview, you can only serve one. You can only have one master, right? Now, does that mean you can't have another interview and then talk about a different part of your business? Absolutely, you can do that. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Well, we could help the agent who could help their customer, or we could help the customer directly. That's what I was trying to say.
Okay, so you have to decide, is the agent important or is the customer important?
Well, it depends on who buys.
The agent is important because the agent is going to bring you 10 deals. The customer is going to bring you one deal. The customer is going to argue with you as to why they should pay that. The realtor, once you explain it and show them how they can make money, they don't care. Now, who are the cheapest people in the marketplace? Agents. Who's the person that needs to get in the agent's back pocket? Mortgage people.
I
So,
think the best market for Eddie is the brokers.
yes, the brokers and mortgage people.
Yes.
Okay? Regular agents, waste of time. Unless they're really high end, and even the high end ones, they think they know everything. They're like doctors. They think they know how to do brain surgery, but they also think they know how to build a backyard. And they also think they can fix their own car. Okay, that's doctors. Doctors can do one thing, doctoring. And so the broker has a need to build more successful agents, because as the agent becomes more successful, what do they want? They want to get paid more money, which means more percentage. So your job, Eddie, is to get more agents doing really well at a low percentage, and that's how you explain it to the broker. With a mortgage person, you're going to say, hey, you want to tie in because everybody wants to do a deal. Okay? And there's another group of people you haven't even thought about, and that's home improvement people. They need you too. Because once you buy a house, they spend the average homeowner spends $18,000 fixing up their house. Yep. Okay. And so those guys make a lot of money, but they need to hook up with you. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yep.
And see, the thing is this. is when a broker says, well, Eddie, I don't even know who you are. I don't know anything about your company or whatever. You already have a radio interview. You're already on YouTube. You're already on 16 different other platforms. And all you got to do is Google me and you'll see. I'm the king of database management for real estate brokers. So you need to have a title to yourself. Like I call Marie, the queen of networking, right? Nobody's going to argue that with me. So you need to create a brand, which is what Marie's always pounding on us all about, and then use the platforms, because basically the radio is simply a distribution system to distribute knowledge to the public. So think about a grocery store for a second. When you walk into a grocery store, there's all these products, right? How do you determine which product you're going to go with? You're going to go with the product that's probably on the end cap, which I would call radio, and it's at eye level, which I call social media. Anything down below, down by your feet, you're not going to buy any of that. That's unknown territory, and it's just space filler. And you can talk to any grocery store, and they'll tell you that. And then, how do you get your product on the end cap or at eye level? You have to pay for it. I mean, they're buying that space, whether it's Lay's potato chips or whoever. It's not by accident if they're at the eye level. You need to be at the eye level in terms of your marketing. So when people think about you, they think about, hey, this is the guy that can help me. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Thank you.
And then the last thing you need is you need 100. You need, like the movie 300, but just make it 100. You need 100 people that you can send your radio interview to when you do it. To tell them that you're going to do a radio interview. Second is do the radio interview and tell them what time it is, and then send them the recap. Okay? And stay on top of those people, because that's your referral base. Nobody works their referral base. They look at radio or social media as a one-off. So if I do Pinterest, then I'm going to get this, or if I do radio, I get this. No, you need to do all of it. It's called omni-media channels, and that's what everybody's doing. And you need 100 people that are in your tribe that you can go to all the time and bring up new things. Just say, hey, I just did an interview on iHeartRadio. Oh, wow. Okay, I just did a local radio show over in the Inland Empire at KCAA. Oh, wow. Yeah, I just started my YouTube channel. Oh, wow. Now you're going to say, well, hey, how are we going to do all this? We're going to do it with 3 steps. Number 1 is we're going to go to Indiegogo and we're going to set up a campaign. So that's number 1. Number 2 is we're going to set up a Pinterest account. Why are we going to do this? Well, how are you going to finance all this stuff? You're going to finance it with your 100 people. If 100 people gave you $20 to buy a book, because that's the book you're going to do in Indiegogo, then it's going to launch to Amazon. When it launches to Amazon, you're going to end up selling 1,000 of them. That's the numbers. So you're going to end up doing 20,000 books, okay, about your topic. Remember, a person who has a book is considered an expert, right? So after you do your first radio show, you're going to contact other podcasters and say, I'm in the process of either creating a workbook or a book. And you're going to send them to Indiegogo. Then with Pinterest, you're going to get subscribers that are going to pay $5 a month to learn about you. So, yeah, I know. I got to go. See, she's raising it. But, see, I could not have done this if we had 2 people here. Okay? But I want to show you how you can get paid to do media. Okay? And that's why you want to do business with me. I'm the only one that's going to show you how to make money without ever paying for any media and being on all the media platforms. So with that, I'm 30 minutes over. Marie's frantically waving her hands at me, telling me my time's up. And the commercial is over.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
question, Jessica. Eddie.
I'm still processing. Some of my questions are actually more about you, as like getting to know you, how you got started with this. I did take some notes as far as like input and how to utilize things that you're offering to work with, but I would also like to know more about
What
you.
about me? Okay, well, let me tell you about me. Okay, I completed California missions in 3rd grade, and I got an A. But I was also a stockbroker, and that's how I come from, is return on investment. Then I retired, and then I went into radio as a joke, not as a joke, as a hobby. Okay, and I did that for 10 or 15 years, and I was really good at it. I was good at selling it. I was good at a lot of other things. In fact, I created some of the highest paid real estate agents in California off the radio. Then I retired for 10 years. And then I had a radio station call me up and say, Ken, we need your help. We need to figure out how to do all this social media nonsense. And I said, social media? What are you talking about? Well, like Facebook and stuff. I said, what's a Facebook? You know what I mean? I looked up Facebook and I heard it's a book about Harvard students. That's what I knew about it. So what I want to do is I want to recreate, like Eddie, the face of real estate. I want to re-engineer radio so that it's consistent with what people want and almost turn it into its own social media platform. And remember, you're absolutely right. We're on level 1, which is you have to like me first. Then you got to know about me, or you got to know about me first, which now you do. Number 2 is you got to like me. And then from there, that creates the trust to be able to do business. That's why I don't like to ask for money up front. I like to get rewarded on the back end, like Rumpelstiltskin. You know Rumpelstiltskin? You're shaking your head, yes, but
Well, I'm
it's
trying
a
to
kid's
place.
story.
Yeah, I'm trying to place which kid's story with.
Yeah, it's the ugly old guy that comes in and tells the princess that I can turn hay into gold, and
Yeah.
she goes, oh, good, because the king said he was going to kill her if she couldn't do it, and he showed her how to do it. And then he left, and then he said, the only thing I want is your firstborn. Now, I don't want your firstborn. That's not what I want, but I do want to get paid at the end. So when you come back, right, she didn't deliver. In fact, actually, the prince, according to the Swedish book, actually cut the dude's head off. But as Americans, we know the story as he guessed his name. Remember, he said, if you can guess my name, then. But that's not what happened. In the Scandinavian countries, he actually got his head cut off. Rumpelstiltskin did.
Of course he did.
And she lived happily ever after with her prince, who became king, and they had lots of money. So that's what I want to do for both of you. I want to almost take you guys on as projects, because I see that you're trying to figure out marketing, and your brand message isn't clear enough to the average person. Does that make sense? You guys are much more sophisticated than a person that could help you. And so hence they don't help you. And that's just my own personal observation.
Eddie, do you have any question?
I'm still processing. Some of that is really good stuff. I appreciate it. And
Okay, well, I'm glad it's pretty good.
well, some applies, some applies, some doesn't. So, I definitely, my message probably has evolved 10 times in the last 2 days. So I'm still working on what is the right way to articulate this. So it's like throwing darts at wall. Eventually, or hiring a real estate agent. It's just getting the right stuff. Eventually, something sticks. And so I'm getting that done.
Yeah, and the thing is, you got to get started. If you spend a lot of time on the analytics, things
Oh,
you have.
I'm done with the analytics and now I'm really at marketing's phase. It's
Yeah,
how
well, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. You just got to go do it, and the market will define who you are and what you do.
yeah. So my goal
I'll
is
try
the
to figure that out.
next week is to get 500 people into our free trial. If we get 500 people, we'll get some kind of feedback. So that's the goal for next week.
Oh, you'll get probably 5 to 10 of them actually looking deeper.
Yeah. So that's what we figure. You know, maybe even one might buy. Who knows?
So how are you contacting them?
A mixture of cold email, cold calling, and I'm starting using Social Champ, using my I have a Facebook group, I have a LinkedIn group, and all those connections to just social media.
Okay.
So,
All right.
And how's this sound can I test out my newest slogan?
Sure.
So I added the king of because that's Marie's. So just I don't know. I won't probably normally wouldn't say that, but the king of real estate data, market data. Save time, amplify your profits by reducing risk.
That's the first time I've actually heard a definition of what you do.
But it doesn't really. So that's about the closest I've come to it.
No, that's perfect.
Yeah.
You identified a problem, you identified a solution, and you show them that they can get cost savings.
Yep.
And it's short.
Yep. So that's what I'll be posting on social media, and it doesn't really tell exactly how, but it's enough of a teaser. Hey, if you want to learn, click a button, watch more.
Okay, so let me ask you this question: do you have a watch?
I've got many.
Do you know how to build one?
A good one, you said?
Yeah. Do you know how to build one?
No.
Okay. All these people are concerned with is the 3 issues that you brought up, and they don't care what's inside the watch. As long as the watch can tell time, they're happy.
Yeah.
So you're trying to build an organization that they understand from start to finish. You don't need to do that. You need to solve a problem, which you are. They don't need to know the details.
I understand. It's hard for me to get away from that because I'm a data guy, but I understand.
Absolutely. All you guys are the same. And that's why Zuckerberg was so successful versus the other programs, because it was all about getting a date. And that's how they got started, Facebook. He didn't tell anybody how it worked. He just said, just go on it, post your picture, post some information, and away we go. Right?
You got it. Thanks.
And he's worth over $50 billion. Simplest deal ever.
So it sounds like we should build a dating app.
Well, you are building a dating app. You and the broker and the mortgage rep.
That is a dating app.
That is a dating app. It's just not in the same context.
Yeah.
Okay. That was awesome. Okay, Jessica, Eddie, what do you think of Ken's presentation? Give your feedback on chat. If you can provide that to Ken directly, that would be awesome.
And thank you for letting me make my presentation.
Yes. Okay.
Marie, you don't actually have it so we can send something to him directly. I keep meaning to tell you that.
Oh, you know what?
It only has it so it says to everyone or to you.
Because sometimes it's good to share it to others also, so they can see the kind of compliments that he's getting. Because it's also
Oh, no worries. It's just a clarity point because I can't actually send it to him directly.
okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. Just send it to everybody. Okay. All right. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna go ahead and share 1 minute of your success story or a challenge or a specific goal. We'll start with Eddie.
Well, probably the biggest thing that I've done is I've added a new competitor price because our competitor, how we compare our system compares to the competitors. And I've added an FAQ in the system because everybody logs in, they don't know what's going on. And I said, well, we added an FAQ section. And our website went down yesterday because some plugin, so I fixed that. I've been most of the day just fixing problems. Today, I just hired a social media expert who's going to help me create these videos on what's the top marketed in San Francisco and job growth, and we're going to distribute that. So that's probably the biggest thing. A cold caller just started calling today, and I got 3 people on LinkedIn that want some demos. Haven't responded to them, so I got to respond to them. So I'm just getting the thing going. So it's good week.
Awesome.
Wow.
Jessica, your turn.
That's really awesome, Eddie. I know it's going to take a lot of headspace off to have a dedicated person. You've been talking about that for a little bit. So that's cool. That's a great accomplishment to find the right team. For me, I actually had a huge unexpected success moment with an event I was at this past weekend, and like to the point where they were all like the whole internal team of the event were talking about me wanting to see how they could work with me and bring me on the team. And it wasn't my intention with like ways I was being visible or contributing to breakout rooms and stuff, but it just kind of organically happened. And now a whole different conversation is taking place when it was just part of a package of attending another event. So I wasn't even thinking about it, but it feels good to see that the right people see me, and it's going to open up the right fit for where to put my energy. And, not that I want to go to events all the time per se, but I see the value with, just like Kenneth is doing, to want to not reinvent the wheel, but just influencing a space in a new way that is going to be more effective than what we've done before. So I felt very empowered. It was great.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, Ken, you're next.
Well, having only 2 people today was awesome. That's one of my big victories. A couple of days ago, we had our radio staff meeting, and it was excellent. We are starting to lay out a calendar. I'm starting to get a little more organized, which is not my strength. But anyway, things are coming along, and I lost 5 pounds. So there you go.
Wow. What's your goal, Ken?
100.
100. Awesome. That's a good start.
Well, I will lose the 100 pounds. It's just a question of how.
And when?
No, I know when. It's going to be in October if I don't get my act together and do it organically.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Okay. So for me, I was able to complete my goal for getting the people involved for the TV reality show, so we can submit it for the showrunner, so she can put together a pitch to the network. So I got that taken care of. The radio show, it looks like we're going to be doing a fashion show event, or actually a radio event on July 14, and we're going to have a celebration at the radio station on June 27 tentatively. So those were set that I need to fulfill. And then I'm also, again, looking into doing the big live event on November. I'm thinking first week of November at the Old Town Temecula Theater, for all of you to be there. So it's going to be a huge, huge event. And we're going to be so proud and so excited about all the outcome of that event. So that's what I'm looking at. And plus the magazine is coming out soon. All right.
Well, you had a pretty slow week. That's okay.
What's that?
I said you must have had a slow week this week. That's a joke.
I know, and I think, part of my challenge is my my fingers are having statics on the phone now. So I gotta get checked and see what's wrong with my nervous system, and it's creating some static. I hope I'm not getting any kind of radiation. But anyway, okay. So that is our time for the business now. Last part is, it looks like from Kent's presentation, there's a lot of opportunities and potential things that we can all collaborate. So Eddie, definitely take take Kent's advice, because he is on track in terms of what we need to do for your business. Building the expertise is really something that we need to have, aside from you doing all the cold calling and all the hiring people to do whatever they need to do. I think building you as an expert, you have to have the face for it, and radio is a good start. Okay.
Okay.
Jessica, I think, also same thing. I think your messaging will probably be good if you even start just being interviewed on a radio. It's a good start right away. It's a good first impression for people that do not know you, and you'll right away get interviewed for 15 minutes. And so as soon as you step in there, you're considered as an expert, and that's a good way to present yourself to people that do not know you yet. So it create that perception of a well-established businesswoman in your area of work.
The credibility, that's what I was thinking of as he was talking, was it being a natural, and we've talked about that. It's different as a credibility piece. Like the magazine, of course, is one way to be promoted, but that's not the same as someone getting to know my personality and all my storytelling, just like Kenneth was pointing to with radio. So it's kind of cool to explore like how that would influence things differently than like other kinds of
Well, it's a good setup with the magazine, because if you're going to be interviewed on a radio show, and we were talking about you being on the magazine also, it's a good combination of information to share on a radio show. So right away, they're looking at, wow, she is, she's on the magazine and now she's on a radio show. And then, you got to look at the first impression. If you were in someone else's shoes, and you're looking at yourself now being on a radio show and having a magazine, what would be your first impression of that person who's on the radio and has is on the magazine?
I'd pay attention. Yeah, I'd be like, this person has something to say. And
why was he invited to be interviewed also? So think about that. So people that are being invited on a radio show is something to be serious about, because they have records, they have credentials, they have proven something. So that's the best way to really present yourself right away, knowing, because I know you, I know how you work, and you've done a very good job matching people, but it's not being given the enough recognition that it deserves. So you got to be smart about this, especially when you're just tapping into the industry. Go after it and go big. Kind of like what I did with my real estate company. When I opened my real estate company, it was a nobody company, but I went big. I got my name on the building. I got 50 agents, and I competed with all the other big companies, and I got known because of how I started it. So if you can do this with the radio show plus the magazine you already have, you're on a good start right there. So think about that. And we're not talking about a lot of money, because you're at Fire Up Connect, you get a discount also for being a Fire Up Connect, right, Ken?
Absolutely.
And so that's how you want to leverage your membership also, because I worked out something with Ken on all the members for Fire Up Connect. Same thing with you, Eddie. So Eddie, you got to work with Ken on that, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, and just just to summarize, is that this is your entree-vous to all the other podcasts you want to be on, because now you have a credential. You have a radio interview, you have an article about you, and so when a podcaster is saying, "Oh yeah, she'd be a good guest,"
So Ken, isn't it Steve is going to he's the one who's going to interview Eddie?
Yes.
Okay, so right away you've got a good host who's going to interview about your business, and for Jessica, it will be Steve also, right?
Correctamundo.
Okay, so you've got a very good host that will make you look so good.
Right.
That alone is a big deal because it's not just me and Kim. It's going to be Steve, who is a professor for the building industry and the real estate industry. So he will know exactly what to ask you guys. And that's a perfect host for you. So take advantage of that, you guys. I mean, it's a perfect timing, especially if we're going to do the celebration for the radio station. It would be perfect timing. So you need to talk to Ken right away about that.
Yep. That'd be good.
So this is probably a dumb question, but I wouldn't.
You're a guest.
I have a bunch of tech questions because I am not. I'm assuming this would be like done as a Zoom interview. That would be the audio would be captured to become a radio show, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. Well, I'd want to make sure I also sound good with I don't have.
That's what we do.
Hmm?
We make you sound good. You, in fact, bring the questions to the host, who then regurgitates them and asks you, so that you're not trapped.
Yep.
Okay. This is all softball stuff. This is not, trying to reveal a secret about Biden or Trump or Clinton. This is all about you and what you can contribute to the audience in the form of the questions. So you're going to give him questions that you already know the answers to. Mm-hmm. And so if you choke up, it's because you choked up, not because we tricked you with a question that you couldn't answer. But yeah, we have all the technology. It's not going to be a problem.
Yeah, the
we adjust down, all that.
Radio station, so don't worry about that.
Yeah. Marie's not going to let you go down.
Yeah.
No, but I do. I'm prepared. I'm thinking in terms of little things I can keep up leveling with being more professional. So one of those is a mic. So
the KCAA radio station has been in the broadcasting for 25 years. So they're very, very well equipped on everything about audio quality. They're very critical about all of those stuff.
They will adjust your sound. Just don't be a mouse. Talk loud, and everything else will be fine.
Yeah. Okay.
We can always bring it. We can always bring it down. We just can't bring it up.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So if you're whispering, that's really hard for us. But if you're screaming and yelling, we just pot it down, and nobody will even know that you did that.
Okay, Eddie, do you have any anything to say?
Jessica, let me know your email address again, please, and I'll tell you the best mic I got. I got it on Amazon for like $20. I spent half a day searching it. No, I'll just email Ken because I'm not sure what you're talking about with Steve and such, because that's new to me. So just let me.
So the radio station, the show itself, I am the host, and I have a co-host. Her name is Kim Yater, who's a peak performance coach. And we had 3 categories of topic for the Fabulous Lifestyle. It's the food, fashion, and finance. You are under finance, which is Steve is the host for the finance section. That's why it's perfect for you to be interviewed by Steve, because he knows exactly what you have. You had a conversation with him before on a phone.
Mately, yeah.
Yeah, Steve's a really smart guy, so I like to get his feedback.
Yes, he will make you look good. Understand that he's a very good host. He has done a lot of interviews for me for high officials. So you're in a good spot having Steve doing an interview.
Well, to fine tune that, do I send information to you, to Ken, or Steve, or who? That's why I was confused.
Oh, you're going to send it to me, and then I'm going to forward it to Steve. Actually, you see Steve.
Yeah. So work with Ken right away after this meeting and get all the details that you need to coordinate and schedule your interview. I think that's going to be, especially now that you have all your promotional videos for the free trial. This is perfect timing for you to work with Ken.
Yep. Well, I'm on the same page.
All
Yep.
right.
Okay. Yeah, and we'll send you emails with guest information, things that you need to know and that to make your interview better. So
Okay.
don't worry. We're on your team.
Okay,
Thanks, Ken.
sounds good. We are 3:58. We did such a good job. What did you guys feel about this meeting? I know it's a small group, but I think we got a lot out of it, which is
I'm raising my hands, even though you can't see me.
Yeah. And Kim did a really good job. Too bad not a lot of people, but this is recorded. I'm gonna make sure they watch it and so they can learn from it. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Marie.
Thank you.
Okay.
Feedback, Jessica. Do you have any feedback, Eddie?
Nope, we're good. I'll just, I appreciate everything, okay?
Okay.
Don't worry. Don't worry. Okay, Jessica, I left my email and phone number, so you can text me or whatever you need to do.
Okay, thank you. I did see that. And thank you, Marie. I hope you feel better with the static.
Yeah, I know. It'll be fine. Don't worry. I'm pretty strong.
She's resilient.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, bye.